Praised for a winning mentality last season, Leicester City are in a downward spiral that's looking like they won't be able to correct. Losing, just like winning, can become a habit. Swansea was once there, not long ago under Bob Bradley, staring down relegation and seeming without hope until they made a drastic decision to change, to bring Paul Clement, who has turned things around. No doubt about that. Clement was just named Premier League Manager of the Month after not only reviving Swansea City, but demonstrating how a club threatened with relegation can turn things around. His counterpart, Claudio Ranieri, has not been as fortunate. Last season, Ranieri was smart enough to stay out of the way and to let the team be, often sacrificing his philosophy for the good of the team. You know the idea, if not broken, don't fix it philosophy. Now he's in a position where actually he needs to coach and manage, and he's failing miserably. I know that's harsh. He's such a likable figure, but it is true. As the weeks tick by in the Premier League, the possibility of defending champions getting relegated is edging closer and closer to being almost certainty. Can you believe that? The Leicester City board will certainly have a tough decision to make in the coming days. As we look ahead into the relegation battle, the picture will become much clearer in the coming weeks. Yes, it will, because if you look at the teams interested, they're going to have to figure out amongst each other. And Leicester City, of course, has the toughest one with Liverpool, Hull, and Arsenal. That's why I think they may be at the bottom 2 or 3, and it will be difficult for them. As the rest of the interesting parties are involved, Swansea City, Middlesbrough, Hull City, Crystal, Sunderland, this is exactly what you want. I'll tell you what, we always look to the top of the table and look the run-in for the top 4. But I tell you, the relegation battle may just be just as interesting.
Claudio Ranieri is second favourite to get sacked, or to be the next Premier League manager sacked at 3-1. He took Ranko at Middlesbrough, the favourite at the moment. He had a vote of confidence today from the Leicester board. Claudio Ranieri seemingly confident there, Julian. If it was you and you were in charge of Leicester, would you sack him?
I would, and he's lying there, Claudio Ranieri. He knows that the relationship between him and the player is not the same as last season. He knows that, and that's all as well. Everything that's coming out of that dressing room is that there's something broken between him and the dressing room, between him and the key players. And Conte leaving is not the only reason why it's not working this season. There's other things, and the players are not happy with some of his coaching, some of his choices as well. You know, 4 games, during games as well, and I really think that it's just not working out. I don't know why. Even if he stays and they stay up, it can't go on next season again, because clearly there's something that's not going on. There's not something that's not working. So I would get rid of him now. Bring someone in that will make sure they stay up and will build as well for the next few seasons, because I can't see Ranieri being there after the summer, even if they stay up.
This is quite an incredible story, isn't it, really? From last year's heroics to, you know, this time last year it was, can they hold on to win the title? And now it's, can they avoid relegation? Whenever I hear the players are not happy, it just makes me think about guys who it's gone to their head and they're looking for excuses, and they've got the big payday, which they deserved, and all of a sudden when the chips are down, they're looking for an out, and that out is clearly the manager. Let's not forget they won the Champions League group. Okay, it was a particularly weak group in terms of...
That doesn't mean matter. That doesn't mean anything for the Premier League table, does it?
But my point now, they're not relegated yet. There are teams below them, and they have got a decent squad of players, especially from midfield going forward. I mean, they've got quite a few choices in the front line. They can...
But you must have been in dressing rooms in which the manager lost you. There surely can be no way back from that.
Yeah, but I don't know what's happening in Leicester's dressing room.
But we're hearing so many different stories that there can't be smoke without fire.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Let me say this, though. But this is a Leicester team that put together an incredible run 2 seasons ago just to survive. Just barely survived. Then all of a sudden Ranieri comes in, everybody expects them to struggle, but things go wonderfully well and they win the title. Now the same group of players have the nerve to be questioning Ranieri's decisions and whether he has the authority in the dressing room. Now, when you lose a dressing room, invariably it is the manager who has to go, because that's the easiest solution. But I think that Ranieri is carrying a burden here for these players who have been poor, who have regressed, who drank their own Kool-Aid, and as a result find themselves staring at a relegation battle. That's not on Ranieri. This is on the players who believe their own hype and now all of a sudden have regressed to where they were before.
Julian?
Yeah, I agree with the boys. I do think that Ranieri's attitude has changed as well. He's not the same as he was last season, and it's obviously easier to be when you're winning and when you're top of the table and when you go to achieve great things than when you are struggling and you're losing and you're only a point above the relegation zone. But I do believe that the players have their share of responsibility. I think Ranieri has his as well. He has to, because he's still the guy picking the players, picking the formation, and we've seen them struggling tactically, struggling technically, struggling physically as well, which is weird compared to the fitness level they had last season. And again, only Conte leaving can't be the only reason why they're where they are now.
Well, Crystal Palace for me will eventually get sorted out by Big Sam.
Just based on his track record.
Sam has a reputation for organising defences, and this team clearly needs that. And I think Sam's got enough games left that he'll do that. And they have some goal scorers in the ranks as well. Benteke. So I think they're going to be okay. Swansea, on the other hand, the reason I'm saying they will be below Crystal Palace is because defensively they're just not good. Recently they've had a decent shape and they've gotten a couple of results. I just don't see it lasting. So for me, I'm sorry. Palace will eventually, and Big Sam will get it right, and unfortunately Swansea won't.
I think Palace are worse defensively than anybody else in the league, in actual fact. And as much as Sam, this is Sam's thing, he's never been relegated, I think eventually your luck runs out. Just as we see with Sunderland, after they've been in a relegation battle for a number of years, I think this is the time that their number is called. They go down. And in all honesty, I think Swansea under Clement have been absolutely fantastic by their measure. I don't see them going down at all. If Palace were to survive, it would be Leicester to go down. I think Swansea finish well above the likes of Leicester, the likes of Middlesbrough. They will continue to get better on during the course of the season. I'm confident they're not going to be the bottom two.
Neither of you guys picked Leicester City to go down. If we didn't have the data that we had from a year ago, would you be as confident that Leicester City stay up?
No.
No. Well,
because the magic from a year ago is gone.
What they showed us last season is what they're capable of at the best. Those other sides that I've picked, Sunderland, Swansea, Hull, they don't have that sort of ammunition that we know Leicester have. Now, they haven't shown it, but they still got enough time to show it. We know they're capable of it, and it's something that I don't think the other three sides are capable of doing.
The most concerning Leicester stat for me is the fact that they haven't scored a league goal for the calendar year. You cannot continue that. Maybe that FA Cup win turns things around, and I know that was against lower league opposition, but this is a team in desperate need of some confidence, as many changes as Ranieri made to the starting 11 for that. Maybe something gives for them. Right now, we'll still have them outside the bottom three, but I reserve the right to change my mind in a couple of weeks.
As always on this show. You were about to say something.
Was I? I was just going to say, Shaka was talking earlier on about Crystal Palace and Sam's luck running out. Well, the fact that Leicester haven't scored a goal the calendar year, that isn't going to last forever. That's why they'll be fine.
4 goals in 45 minutes the other weekend. If I'm Big Sam, that's my biggest concern, not what Leicester's doing. That was in a relegation 6-pointer. That team did not look great. Okay, hashtag FC debate. Greatest way for you to get in on this. For Shaka, Stevie, I'm Sebastian. Thanks for checking us out.
Does this prove a turning point? Is this a catalyst for change? They've got Swansea away at the weekend.
No, it's not, and we won't know until that game. But Leicester City make wholesale changes, playing against lower league opposition at home. You get the result. It's good only for the fact that had they not, we'd again be talking about Claudio Ranieri and whether Leicester keep him on even to this weekend. Other than that, he lives to fight on another day. But this is no big deal in the bigger picture.
Leicester have got a fixture list coming up that frightens me to death with the way they're playing. This game apart, because he'll put all the other teams back in now. You look at the game against Swansea.
It's scary when
coming
you see
up at the weekend. Paul Clements has got them organised. Sevilla will take care of them in the Champions League, I would imagine. Then we're looking at Liverpool, who are looking to bounce back. Hull City under Marco Silva, we've talked about it. They have improved. They've improved greatly. And then they go to Arsenal. As much stick as I've gave Arsenal lately, that still has them huge favourites. That that is a worry. That's a sleepless night fixture list for Claudio Ranieri, without doubt.
It's feasible that he's not going to get anything from any of those matches, isn't it?
It is feasible, yes.
And then if he doesn't, then he...
I think if he doesn't, then I will reverse what I said yesterday, which was not to sack him. I think that is pivotal. Absolutely pivotal to get points.
Well, let's bring Gab Marcotti into the conversation. He knows Ranieri well, of course, wrote a book on his your title success last season. Gab, what struck me today was the support from the fans for Ranieri throughout. They seem to be still very much on his side.
Yeah, I mean, I think that much is pretty evident. You see it too if you go to the Leicester forums or Leicester Twitter. Look, this is a fan base that has suffered. They're used to being a yo-yo club. They were in the championship just 3 years ago. And I think that, while nobody wants to go down, I think some of them could live with it. And a lot of them say, you know what, we can see beyond this. And we don't necessarily think that the manager is the problem here. On top of that, the ownership has also been very, very clear. He showed up again to the game tonight. People joke about dreaded votes of confidence, but I mean, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. They buy into it. Now, obviously, if, as Craig says, they lose the next 4, 5, 6, 7 games, maybe that changes. But for now, they're all pretty much on board.
Welcome into the ESPN FC studio. Chaka Hislop, Stevie Nichols, Sebastian Salazar. Are you guys ready to debate?
All right. Right, go on then.
Put your gloves on. All right, we always focus on top of the table, but there's a little bit of a relegation battle looming here for about 6 sides in the Premier League. There you see it, the SPI, saying that the 3 that are in the relegation spots right now will be the 3 to go down. That's Hull City, Crystal Palace, and Sunderland. All right, so let's see what the guys think. Pretty much in lockstep there on Sunderland and Hull City, but a little disagreement on Crystal Palace and Swansea. Guys, explain your picture.